My buddy Chad stole my thunder. Boy, Chad's here. Chad, welcome, brother. Man, today was an interesting day. Lexi from the Kingdom Queens and I was going to meet up. Thanks to Lexi and the Kingdom Queens podcast. I should have the link below. I won one of their contests, and I was going to meet up with her, and I was freaking out because I was not able to meet up with her, but turns out to be it was just a ruse so she could steal my number. And we did exchange numbers, and we'll meet up some other time. Kudos to the Kingdom Queens and Lexi in particular, who was a guest on my show. Just recently, she was on Fox 4 News, so it was kind of neat. My buddy Chad is here. Chad, I'm dying to tell you something, but I'm not. But I am going to ask you and Bufa to pay attention tomorrow night. Have your phones with you tomorrow night, like especially around somewhere between 8 and 8:30. I'm going to send you and Bufa something. So I encourage you guys to. It's not anything. It's nothing football related. It's a personal matter. Something I'm sharing with you and Bufa only. So I'm using my platform as a way. By the way, Chad, I'm like dying to tell you this. I am like dying to share this information with you, but it's not football related. But tomorrow, seriously, around 8:30, hold on to your phone because I'm going to send you something really awesome. Chad says no thunder steal from me, man. Chad's such a good guy, man. I'm dying to tell you what's going to happen, and I can't. But you and Booth are going to get message tomorrow. So, or I'm going to try to anyway. I'm going to try to send you something really awesome, really awesome. Okay, so, Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports. I switched gears here a little bit. Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports. Everybody's thoughts and prayers. Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports. Thoughts and prayers out to him. He was supposed to come on my show. He got 2 Matchbox cars shoved inside his rectum. So he said he couldn't come on. He's got a pair of Matchbox cars shoved up his butt. And I'm going to go on a rant here. This is not a left-wing show. I'm not a liberal. On this channel, you can be anything. You can be everything. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not a liberal where if you disagree with me, I'm instantly going to attack you. You can do whatever you want. If you're a type of guy who wants to shove a Matchbox car up your ass, I'm probably going to make fun of you a little bit, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it, and I'm not going to sit here and attack you for being wrong. But so speedy recovery to Keaton Talk Sports. Funk, you know, Funk. If you use social media or if you hit me up, all my social media links are below. If you I'll probably share. Not to see what happens. I can't really describe it to you. But Chad's my brother from another mother. It's kind of a situation that he'll get a kick out of tomorrow. He got the kids on. I have no idea. I just he hit me up yesterday and he told me about it, and I'm like, what the hell? You're sticking cars up your ass? Everybody's a little different, Funk. But this is not a liberal channel. You don't have to be. I'm not one of these guys that like you gotta do everything that I do. Funk, you're allowed to disagree with me. You've disagreed with me before. You have said, Dan, you're wrong. And in that rare occasion, rare occasion I am wrong. Yeah, I say it. Well, hey, Funk, let me know which one you're on. Let me know which one. If you're not on any, that's fine too. One Pride's in the house. He says CJGJ is back. And matter of fact, I had a little one-on-one with One Pride, and I hit him up and I said, this reminds me a little bit of Bob Sanders. For those of you who don't know, Bob Sanders, career shortened by injuries, really good football player. when Peyton Manning, it was 2006, when Peyton Manning won their first Super Bowl against the Bears, Bob Sanders came back really late in the season, and he added a dimension to that defense, a really valuable dimension, and he was really key. And I'm wondering if CJ can do that, because this is a really, really good football player, and he can do a variety of different things. So this just adds to your team. I'm gonna level with you. I'm switching my tiers a little bit in the NFC. For I've been saying San Francisco, Philly, Dallas, and Detroit. I would put Dallas there. I'd still Detroit's on the second tier, but CJ's big, and Bob Sanders added a development to that team that was really key for them to win the Super Bowl. Kevin, what's up? All right, so I want to talk a little bit about. I'm going. I hope so, brother. I picked the Raiders to win. If you watch my picks video, which is listed below, I predicted Brandon Staley would be fired on behalf of Chiefs Kingdom, Raiders Nation. I don't know what Broncos called themselves. We're all sad to see Staley go. We are all sad. We are all sad. We are all sad to see Brandon Staley go, but this is a long time coming. This is one of the. This is something I wasn't sure it would last, but I was talking. I mean, at one point we're texting, and I said this semi-joking. You could have fired him at halftime. I did not see Denver give up 70 to Miami. I didn't see that game, but I really have to think about it. I really have to think about it, but I don't remember a defense just not caring at all. I mean, they did not want to play. It was worse than the Pro Bowl. It was just terrible. It was just terrible. I've never seen a defense play so lifeless, and I honestly. You really could have fired Staley at halftime. You really could have. I know it sounds extreme. It sounds crazy. It was that bad. It was that embarrassing. I want to start off because there's 3 openings. Panthers, Chargers, and Raiders, and I'm going to rank them. And I'm going to give you a surprise at number 1 is the Raiders. That out of these 3, the Raiders are the best job. And I think Antonio Pierce is going to get that job. And you're going to say, Dan, the Raiders? And I'm going to, I thought about this before the show. I'm going to say this, and it's not going to make sense. But out of these 3 organizations, the Raiders are the most stable. Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this one more time because it still sounds weird. Out of these 3 job head coaching positions that are available, the Raiders are the best because they have the best owner stability. It still sounds weird. So I'm gonna break this down, because what do you want when you take over a team? You want a quarterback. Is Aiden O'Connell the guy? Maybe. But you can move on from Aiden O'Connell. Bryce Young's the number 1 pick in the draft. The owner, as public, they gave up a lot. You're stuck with Bryce Young. Justin Herbert, who I am extremely high on, you're stuck with him. The Raiders' job is the best job because you have a viable option. You have a guy who's won games in Jimmy Garoppolo, still on the roster. But you can also get somebody if Aiden O'Connell isn't that guy. But when if Aiden O'Connell is that guy? When if they go into the offseason and say, you know what? We're going to go with Aiden O'Connell, and we're just going to draft the best available player who's not a quarterback. Are the Panthers doing that? No, because they don't have first-round pick. But let's say a quarterback is available at pick number 33. They're not going to take a quarterback. I mean, they could get a good player, but 33 is a lot different than what the Raiders are doing. The Chargers are stuck with an aging team with talent and a quarterback, but with some salary cap issues, 13 home fans at every game. Out of these 3 jobs, the Raiders is the best one. It really is. Even if Aiden O'Connell's not the guy. I think if the Raiders are smart, they go with Antonio Pierce and Aiden O'Connell. But out of these 3 positions, the Raiders the best one. Let me know if I'm wrong. Funk says we definitely have butted heads, but my greatest quote came out of it. Isn't it great when 2 guys can disagree and not fight or call each other? I wish I would have said that, Funk. This gets a star. I do think we resign or re-sign for cheap. Maybe. Maybe not. If he balls out, he may ask for a lot. He should have got a lot. It's a great video, isn't it, Kevin? Great to see Kevin here. Funk remembers Bob Sanders. I'm trying not to go on a rant about former players today because I'm on energy drink number 3. And I'm all over the place. By the way, one pride, yeah, Lexi finagled me so she can get my phone number. And you know why? Take a look. I mean, you got going. It's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Me and Lexi are texting each other. So, Denver Gator, what's up, football nerds? Denver Gator, please do not in 2 weeks from now or 13 days from now stick Matchbox cars up your ass. Denver Gator in 2 weeks is going to join me live on the show, and we are going to talk college football. So you're going to get to see Denver Gator. Denver Gator's a phenomenal guest. He doesn't like coming on very often, but when he comes on, he's awesome. We're going to talk a little college football in a couple of weeks. I'm super excited. I love Denver Gator on here. Denver Gator's phenomenal. I wish he'd come on more often, but he doesn't want to. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Gooch! The talent! The B in the Back Talk Bros says, hello, boys. Gooch! Gooch, am I wrong? Is the best job available? Is it Raiders than the other 2? I'm going to give you 2 and 3 here in a bit. I want to read some comments here. I'm going to have some fun here. I'm having a really good day. I had a rough day early on. Because I saw Chad right away. I'm geeked out because something happened that I'm dying to tell Chad about. Not football related. But it's really awesome. I'm sure. Oh, listen, never feel bad for an NFL head coach for losing their job because they're going to get a 6 to 7 figure job immediately. Never feel bad for an NFL head coach. God, why does Denver Gator get all this love, man? Little Gooch gets some loves. Dan, there was a lot of talent. There is a lot of talent in that Chargers, and there's aging talent. There's current talent. And listen, man, I'm telling you right now, the Raiders is the job. Out of these 3, the Raiders is the job. It's not the Chargers, believe it or not. I 1,000 agree with you. Yeah, it hurt my brain here. I know. After Monday night, I think he's a lock. Which one are you talking about? I'm losing track here. Which one you will? So where does a head coach go when he gets canned? Well, it'll be very interesting. Brandon Staley, I firmly believe, will be an NFL defensive coordinator. I don't see him being a guy for TV at all. Or if he's not going to be a defensive coordinator, he could be a defense. I think he's either a secondary coach, defensive line coach, comes from the Rams organization, also spent some time with the Titans. I'm leaning towards him going back to the Rams in some capacity. Brandon Staley's an excellent defensive mind. I think he's a terrible head coach. It was a bad hire to begin with. Chargers made a big mistake, and they're paying for it. Frank Wright, in my opinion, will end up back in Philly as the quarterback's coach or offensive coordinator, and that just makes sense. I really think that he'll end up being the offensive coordinator. Josh McDaniels, I think, will either end up in Tennessee with Mike Vrabel, or he'll be with Bill Belichick wherever he goes. Those 3 goes. One Pride 40 says the comment, I'm really expecting most people say Chargers job no distracted. It's not. You're locked with Herbert. You're locked with contracts and you have much higher expectations to win now than the Raiders. You really do. And you got lots of problems, but you don't have quarterback. Funky Gooch one man. How come Denver Gator? How come you get so much love, man? Gators ready for tomorrow. I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know. What were you doing tomorrow? Oh, never mind. I don't have a mark. By the way, please watch my video, and I'll talk about it here in a bit. But I have Denver winning in an upset, but of course I'm pulling for the Lions. So I almost forgot. I love a good old fashioned Randall Funk. Oh God, don't get me going, Funk. You know I'll be going for like 20 minutes. Roll Tide, roll. It's funny. It's funny. Almost universally, everybody has Texas beating Washington, but that Michigan, Alabama, whoever wins going to win national championship. That it's going to be such a good game. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Raiders' job is attractive. It's really attractive. You got a guy who could potentially be the quarterback, but you're not locked into him. That's what I like about it. Because if Aiden O'Connell pans out, you're paying him pennies on the dollar, like micro pennies on the dollar. And that's if he pans out. If he doesn't, just get another one, and you can build up that team, or you can get a quarterback in this draft. I mean, I didn't even look at it. I'll pull it up here. As of right now, and I don't know if this is up to date, but as of right now, the Raiders pick. What are they? Used to be LV. I thought it was LV. Here. Oh wow! I don't think this is up there. So right now they pick 6. What if they pass on the quarterback? So let's play this game. Let's say they don't want to take a quarterback. I'm looking at the Saints at 12 currently because Tampa Bay is the division lead. Tampa Bay at 20. You can flip that around. And Atlanta at 11. Let's just take Atlanta at 11 and the Saints at 12. Both those teams could probably get a quarterback. All right. I'm looking at Atlanta at 11. You got players. You got draft picks. Maybe you have a new coach. Maybe you don't. Are you going to tell me you drop down 5 spots and get a bunch of players maybe or a bunch of draft capital? You tell me you couldn't do that? I mean, I'm seriously, you're the Raiders picking 6. When if you don't take a quarter? And by the way, the Bears pick 1 and 5 according to this. So the Bears, one of those picks may or may not be a quarterback, but the other one isn't. Right? Arizona's probably not taking a quarterback. And then keep in mind, Arizona could do a variety of different things. But if you're the Raiders at 6 and you decide, let's go with Aiden O'Connell. By the way, the Lions picked 6. They traded down, and they got Branch, Campbell, Laporta, and Gibbs. They got 4 impact players. Let the Raiders do that. Lions had more draft picks, so I mean that's not. But you see, you get my point though. The Raiders at 6. If they like Aiden O'Connell, you could trade down. You can get some pieces, man. What if you pick at 6? When Joe Old or Fastenew is available, why not build up that offensive line? Jaden Daniels, maybe you have some fun, pick him. Why not? Rome Olakun, which I need. Denver Gator made so much fun of me because he's like, Dan, you love this kid and you can't even pronounce his name. Yeah, that's right. Well, if you take him, put him opposite Devontae Adams. That's fun. Denver Gator, what's crazy is I feel like you guys have a few advantages. One of them's at quarterback. I don't like Russ. I know you don't. I know I love the fact that you don't like golf either. I think we've been friends. Has it only been? I thought it was longer, Chad. I think it's actually been longer now. There a report the Chargers really like Staley, thought he was a super smart coach, but he followed it with too smart for his own good at times, and that was his downfall. Gooch, this is just brilliant. Yeah. If the evil Emperor K. Bill in New England leaves, does he come to the West? I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think he would go to the Raiders. I think it's a money issue. However, the Tom Brady, I don't know all the details of that, but Brady there with the Raiders, like 3% minority owner that may or may not have something to do with it. I don't see Belichick going to the Raiders. I don't see Belichick. I'll be honest with you, the Chargers organization's bad. I don't see that happening either. Washington makes sense because you have extra draft picks and you already have a quarterback, even though if you want to tell me you're not sold on Sam Howell, I'm fine. I could see something like that. I think Washington's the most likely. If the Bills don't make the playoffs, I would love it. And by the way, there's like a weird thing, like you can trade. Like I would love for him to go to Buffalo. I just think he's so much fun. But to be honest with you, the answer is no to your question. I think the only team that Belichick would go to would be Washington. And the new ownership, the fact that they've hired retread coaches before makes sense. Staley gets a DC job after how bad his defenses have been. While he has said he calls the plays, I'll ask who's he. I seriously watch him go to LA. I really think going back in LA in some capacity. That's really where I see him to go. Funk, I think the game will boil down quarterback play. Didn't think I would say that a few weeks ago. Turnovers will be the key. It really is. I'll tell you what. I really think that there's more talent on the Lions. I just got kind of a weird feeling. I just got a weird feeling about it. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think that, well, by the way, I'll go over it in a little more detail, but I think it's going to be a really close game. There's a few details I'll go over here. Gooch, I'd rather see the Tide roll over Michigan. I live by too many Michigan slappies and gets annoying. Oh, I forgot. That's got to be annoying. I'm going to say this. If Michigan wins the national championship, I think that would raise the possibility of Harbaugh leaving. I think Harbaugh wins that national championship and he wants to go back to the NFL. I think if Harbaugh loses, he may be a little more motivated. I haven't looked through all the Michigan players, and I know they have a good recruiting class coming in, but I think this class, like, don't get me wrong, Michigan's one of those reload rather than rebuild teams, but every couple of years you get a team that's just loaded and they have a down year, and I'm kind of wondering if this is that year. I don't know who the quarterback is behind McCarthy. They lose some running backs, they lose some linemen. They lose a lot of defensive players. They lose defensive players every year. This might be the year that Michigan would take a dip, and this might be the best opportunity for him to go to the NFL. I think if the Bears job's available, I think it's Harbaugh's, and I think Harbaugh will take it. I really do. Chicago's been playing better, but we'll see. Funk, they're so distraught when they found out they'd play us, told everyone the team of Austin, Texas is not the team that ended the season. Don't point to Auburn because Georgia struggled also. I'm still going to stand by this. Texas doesn't deserve to be in. A lot of people are telling me Florida State. I don't buy that. Georgia should be in, and Alabama should be in. What we should be looking at is Michigan versus Georgia and Washington versus Alabama. That's really what we should have had. I don't know where that came from. DG, 6 weeks ago, looked like cakewalk for the Lions, but golf is letting the law of the averages caught up with him. Dude's got 112 turnovers, 121 games. His play has gone down. To be honest with you, all three of these games are really, really good games, and they all have interesting storylines. But I really think the Denver-Detroit game's the best one, even though Pittsburgh-Indianapolis, they're both 7-6 teams with, one will get in, one won't. So, but the Denver Detroit game to me is the most interesting. And I mean, I'm like, come on, Lions. I mean, but yeah, I think, by the way, if you haven't had a chance to watch Javonte Williams yet, oh my God, is that guy impressive? But they've been, I really think that's kind of the game where Denver says, you're going to get 30 touches. We'll take some deep shots. And, but I like the defense. The defense has been playing really good. Denver's defense is impressive. I'm looking at the teams in the AFC, and I'll be honest with you. The teams in the AFC, if I don't want Denver to make the playoffs, because that's a team I really don't want to play in the playoffs. I really don't want to play Denver. And like 6-7 weeks ago, I laughed. One thing about the NFL is teams always go back to the mean if they're super great, say like the Vikings score. Vikings and what's – yeah, exactly. Michigan is Big Ten good. Has a guy I would watch say they're a fine range. Seriously. I said the same thing about Ohio State. I watched them play Penn State, and I said Ohio State's maybe a top 10 team. Penn State's like a top 15, top 20 team. When they played earlier in the year, I didn't think that either team really overly impressed. They weren't national championship caliber teams at the time. I think Ohio State was like third. Penn State was seventh, if I remember correctly. I didn't think either one of those teams was that good. I want to tell you Texas is the same thing. I didn't get a chance to watch Texas play, so I can't tell you that. So 2008 March, huh? I thought sooner, but I'll take your word for it. Damn, that's a great turnover stat. That's up to it's not quite that bad. By the way, Jameis Winston's a guy just has a world of talent. I always think that there's a team that's going to turn to Winston and say, look, you want to be quarterback for a year, and Denver's got a real good defense, Kevin. Denver's defense is playing really good. It's going to be a fun game. Staley, hey, Funky, Michigan State got the Oregon State head coach and elite running back, and they also got DJ Smith. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. They got the quarterback too. One Pride is very, 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 very excited. Not Michigan State fan either. I'm a Clemson fan. No, it sounds weird being from Detroit. Clemson's a team that I was kind of referring to, that they had all this talent, and then they had like the drop, and they haven't really been able to bounce back. And I don't know if they will. I really don't know what they will. I think they're like 8-4 this year. I like Dabo Swinney a lot. But I think the days, at least for next, I think college football's really switched and changed. And Dabo Swinney's one of those guys. I think it's really going to have a problem with the portal. People, by the way, people in Clemson, and I mean, Denver Gator can tell you, like, I'm fully aware Clemson's an ACC team, but when you're in SEC territory, it's just college football's a little different. Clemson's located in South Carolina, just so you know. I think Clemson's going to be one of these teams that's it's going to be really hard for them to hold on and actually keep their players. I mean, we're in a different age. We're in a different day and age. I was watching something on Instagram. I can't think of the guy's name. His former 5-star tight end, played, I think, just maybe a few years in the NFL. Now he does like analysis and all sorts of stuff. But he said that if you're like a super senior, you're like a fifth-year senior on a team, you can almost give that team an extra 2 to 4 wins just by having that rare commodity because of this transfer portal. So they did. I didn't know you're a season ticket holder, One Pride. I did not know that. That's really cool. I wish you'd send me more pictures of Michigan State Stadium. I had no idea you were a season ticket holder. If I ever come up to East Lansing, I want an invite. I've been to 2 college football games. Both of them was Missouri, and both of them I cheered for the other team because after every first down they go, is so annoying, is so awful, is it really is. So one side goes MIZ, the other side goes ZOU, and it really is. It's like the worst thing in the world. It is so annoying. It is just annoying. There's almost nothing worse than an MU fan. There's KU fans. And the KU fan base is so bad because they're the only fan base that proudly says, I cheer for them when they're winning. And they refer to the 1 month of the season when they exist, and that's March. KU fans are the worst. MU fans are right up there too. I've seen it. Yeah, they got, it sucks because it's a great story. They're in the Midwest. They're competing in the SEC. They gave Georgia a run for their money. It is so annoying. This is awful. A Michigan State guy telling me Michigan fans are horrible. I'm shocked. I don't know why I'm drinking an energy drink. I am so jacked up. By the way, One Pride, Lexi gave me her number. She's been texting me. Not trying to rub it in, but, when you got it going on, you got to go rub it on. MUK, you're both trash. My boy Tim's in the house. Tim! Oh, God. Man, I don't even know if I should probably throw this other half away. I'm not going to, but I probably should. I'm really jacked up today. 2 weeks from now, Denver Gator is going to be on the show. We're going to talk college football. So we'll talk about KU, MU. I got to get Denver Gator a laundry list of things I want to go over. Chiefs, Patriots, noon Central Time. I will be doing play-by-play. I don't have the live stream set up. I'll have that set up after the show. I'll be honest with you. I really don't think they are. I think I've heard so many Philly fans complain about the offense. Defensively, I think they're fine. I think Frank Wright will end up back in Philly as the quarterback's coach or offensive coordinator. I think quarterback's coach, and then he'll be elevated offensive coordinator. But I really don't think they are. I really don't. I think that Dallas and Philly, or Dallas and San Francisco, has just done more. San Francisco, all they need to do is stay healthy. And Dallas, it's kind of funny because everybody kind of wants to dog Jerry Jones and everything, but he's done a really good job building that team. He really has. Give credit to the Cowboys. They really have. But yeah, I don't think it's been terrible. I don't think so. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's a really good player, but I really don't think they're missing him all that much. I think the biggest issue that they have is really on offense, not defense. Well, let's start here. Let's start with the games. I got 3 games on Saturday. Minnesota at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a 3.5-point favorite. It's been staying at 3.5. I was kind of thinking this line would jump up a little bit, maybe even hit 5. It's been steady because the Bengals, this is going to be a fun matchup because you have a backup quarterback who's put up 34 points the last 2 weeks, but the Minnesota defense is really, really good. And give Brian Flores a lot of credit because this defense went from terrible to really good. I mean, pitching a shutout in the NFL is a tough thing to do. I love the Minnesota defense. I love watching the Minnesota Vikings defense. It's a lot of fun. The Vikings are kind of a weird team because they need a quarterback. They're going to go with Nick Mullins. I thought they would stick with Dobbs. By the way, I'm going to go on record. I liked Nick Mullins coming out of Southern Miss. I really thought that there would just be a chance sooner or later, and he hasn't got it. He's going to get it Saturday. I was stuck with Dobbs. I really was stuck with Dobbs. I know it's hard to say. I know the Raiders, the 3 points against a Raiders team, I understand. I still think I would have stayed with Dobbs. We'll find out. Mullins is a guy with talent. Mullins is a guy with talent. Really liked him out of Southern Miss. Broke a lot of Brett Favre's records. Really, I really liked him. Gunslinger type mentality. But it is his first start of the season. I like the defense. I really thought the line would jump up. If I was going to bet on any one of these games, now keep in mind, I kind of like Denver, but if I was going to put any action down, I would probably lean to Cincy, even though I hate the hook. I really hate the hook. I think Lions are missing CJ or CGJ more, right? I believe if Tampa becomes available, they're in the most attractive job. I'd argue that, and I'll tell you why. Defensively, you got your 2-star linebackers. Both of them requested trades. Levante David, I think, is going to be 34. Devin White, he was wanting out. You got some really good players on that defense, but Shaquille Barrett's not been the same guy. He's 32. You probably have to move on from him sooner or later. Offense, you got some questions along the offensive line. You don't really have a quarterback. Mike Evans is getting up in age, and Godwin is not. I think there's some questions there. I didn't really do this, but I'll do it now. I would put Carolina at 2, and I would put LA at 3. And the reason why I put Carolina at 2 is that if you untap that Bryce Young potential, you have something in a very weak division. And I think Carolina would be a much better job than Tampa, because Tampa, you either got to draft a quarterback or you got to get one in free agency. Carolina, you're tied to Bryce Young, and you got an owner who seems like the interfering type. But there's some pieces. There's some really good pieces in Carolina. There really is. And you also are going to get the 33rd pick in the draft, which within a quarterback heavy draft, you might be able to get something really good at 33. Last year was Joey Porter Jr. That looks like he's going to be a really good player. A buddy who's a Steelers fan, he really likes Joey Porter Jr. So, I wouldn't put it above Carolina, and I don't think it's as good as the Raiders. I disagree. Short version. Philly's defense as a whole has been rough. We're a slasher. He'll let us know. Yeah, you tell me. Every time I've watched the Eagles, the offense seems off. And I know they gave up a lot of points, but I think the offense looks a little off. We're missing GJ Mosley on the back end. Yeah, Mosley. That's a guy when he's healthy is really good. When he's healthy, he's really good. You guys have to tell me, is he coming back this year or is he done? So more GJ than Mosley. Jacobs has been abused all year. And I know Funkenary and Glenn hasn't pulled. Carolina's the least attractive job. I think it's number 2. And here's the thing, there's a lot of people that really believe in Bryce Young, and I think you can work with Bryce Young. The defense is the most disappointing thing on the Panthers, but this division is bad. This is a bad division. Keys asked that all four teams have new coaches. I think it was Keys. And the answer is yes. It really could be, yeah. So Carolina, yeah, I don't think it is, because you got a young quarterback who's going year 2. You have talent, and what wins that division? 8, 9 games? Chargers. Chargers is the least attractive job. Ownership, you're locked into your quarterback. You have aging, high priced aging vets. You got, on paper, I thought was a good offensive line. It's not it was a bad. You also have aging players on the offensive side of the ball, players that can't stay healthy. And you're, no matter what, you're stuck with Herbert. And I think Herbert's a great quarterback. But now we have to deal with the fact that he got really banged up behind an offensive line. So you got to fix so many different things. And this whole time, you got to deal with a juggernaut in Kansas City and a Broncos team that's won 6 out of the last 7, 7 out of the last 8. So instead of just beating one team, which that's all really Brandon Staley had to do, now you got to beat 2 up and coming teams. With which I think it's fair to say you have 2 future Hall of Fame quarterbacks in Mahomes and Russell Wilson. That Chargers job is not a good job. It really isn't. Supposedly him and Vador will rotate with. Glenn said that, Funk. Atlanta might be available, and that might be the most attractive. Yeah, seriously. Atlanta would be a great job. You have a really good defense. You have a great owner. I mean, a great owner. And all you need is a quarterback. You could put throw this out there. CJ Stroud's on Atlanta. What's their record? Double digits. I think easy. I think CJ Stroud's on Atlanta. You're looking at least 10 wins. I think they have to get to the playoffs. I really do. Pride, I don't believe what coaches say until I see it. We keep hearing how J-Mo is going to get more involved, yet he keeps getting one target and he's open all the damn time. I love this. Don't forget the cost of living of LA. LA's not for everybody. I remember Phillip Rivers was like, I'll retire or be playing Indianapolis. I'm kind of joking, but LA's not for everybody. LA's not for everybody. I mean, Campbell's staff is pretty truthful. Oh, you know the deal. As a true Cowboy homer, is it crazy? I feel Ferguson is a top 5 tight end in the NFL. I know it may seem like a stretch, but he's been Dak's second most reliable target after CD. Ferguson, top 5. My instant reaction, welcome, you know the deal. I want more Cowboys fans here. Before I instantly disregard that and say no, let's think about it. All right, let's think about it here. And I'm going down the list, and you may have a good point. 1, Pride, behave. I'm looking at Kelsey. All right, Travis Kelsey. I'm going to look at Kelsey. Okay, I'm going to look. Believe it or not, I'm going to say Laporta. I'm going to say Ingram. Just nailed those 3, okay? After that, I'm really trying to rack my brain because Mark Andrews isn't there. All right, so Mark Andrews isn't there. All right. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look at receiving leaders here. Let's take a look at receiving leaders. I'm sorry. I forgot. Kittle. So that's 5. All right. But I'm sorry. So I nailed 4. So Kelsey's better, Kittle's better, Laporta's better, Evan Ingram's better, definitely. I'm going to pull this up here because is there a way to do this by tight end? TJ Hawkinson's probably okay. So here's the tight end receivers. I have to scroll down. Ferguson's 48. So the way it works, tight end list as far as receptions, and this is what is this going by? Oh, it's going by yards. Okay, so this is the yardage list. Okay, Kelsey's number one. TJ Hawkinson. So his top five. No, he's not. He's not better than Hawkinson. Lions fans here will tell you that Hawkinson's not a good blocker. From what I've seen him, he's a good blocker. George Kittle, he's not better than Kittle. That's no brainer. I like Laporta a lot. And I like Ingram a lot. And those are the kind of homer picks. And I will say this. McBride's a guy I loved out of Colorado State. McBride and Njoku are have more yards, and both of them have more receptions. I probably put Ferguson above them. So top five, no. Close. You got to understand something, man. Here's the negatives. You got win now with a quarterback who's already got his. By the way, notice he got his money, then he got hurt. He got his money and then he got hurt. I'm not questioning his toughness, but you give a guy his money, then all of a sudden he can't stay healthy. It's okay. That's one problem. So many holes on that team. You got to win now. You have questionable ownership, and then you have Denver and Kansas City. I'm still getting weird saying that Denver. I get that. One pride. I'm going to ask you to be nice again. I'm not going to show that comment. I'm not going to put you in timeout, but I'm not going to show that comment. Be nice. Ferguson top five sounds like a stretch to me, but yeah, I do like Laporta better. But Ferguson, if I did that right, 6, that's pretty good. Listen, Ferguson's been playing some really good football. So you know the deal. Ferguson has been playing really good football. I think 6 is what I had him at. So I'm not mad at that. I think Carolina's the least attractive. You have to be sold on Bryce Young, and there's a lot of people that are. And I also like the fact that he'll go into his second year. So even though it's the number one pick in the draft, it's still a rookie deal. He's got a lot to prove. There's a lot to like about the kid. I'm not sold on him, and you got to improve the talent. I mean, but is it better than the Chargers? I think it's easily better than the Chargers. The NFC South, it would not surprise me if Bryce Young's the best quarterback in the NFC South next year, though. I probably would too. I like Ferguson, though. I want to be very clear. That's a very, 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 very good tight end. I love the way Laporta plays. And one pride, I'm agreeing with you, is that why would he want to wear Honolulu blue when he wears Chiefs red? Looks much better in Chiefs uniform. I know I said Hawk can't block. I've gotten into it. Yeah, a lot of you guys have said that he can't, but every time I watch him, he blocks phenomenal. I think he's an excellent tight end. So Jason, what's up? Chargers are done. Bye-bye, head coach. Chiefs fans are in mourning. We're having a little debate here. How attractive is the Chargers' job? I don't think it is. About Hawks blocking, I'm not a fan of Tepper either. That's why it sounds weird to say, but which franchise has the most stable ownership? Raiders out of these three are the top with Mark Davis. The guy is I think he's a billionaire, and he has that $5 bowl haircut. But yeah. So what makes the Raiders' job attractive? Okay, here's what makes the Raiders' job attractive. You have a 4th-round pick as your starting quarterback. That's what makes it attractive. Look at him Thursday night. That's an NFL quarterback. That guy can play. So here's why I like it. If you like Aiden O'Connell, and this is what I would do, I would give him a chance. A full offseason, you're the number one guy. See what he can do. He has talent, right? Give him some weapons. You have, as of right now, according to this chart, the 6th overall pick in the draft. If you like O'Connell, like I do, you have the 6th overall pick in the draft in a quarterback heavy draft. You can do something. You can either get a really, really good player, or you can trade down and get some value, whether it's draft picks or maybe a player. I'm looking at Atlanta at 11, and I'm looking at the Saints at 12. And there's going to, by the way, we're going to see, I promise you, you're going to see is a Jaden Daniels hype train. And Jaden Daniels and his agent should be saying, hey, all I'm saying is which quarterback played the best. And the answer is Jaden Daniels. And so there's going to be a pick at number 6, and I don't think Daniels is going to be off the board at 6. And there's going to be a team, probably Atlanta, Tampa Bay, or the Saints, that's going to say, hey, we need a quarterback. What do you want? You just answered your own question. You have maybe the best defensive player in football and one of the best receivers. You have a 4th-round pick as your quarterback, and you get the 6 picks in the draft. There's a lot to like about the Raiders. And unlike the Chargers with the questionable ownership and the superstar quarterback locked up to a big-time contract, the Raiders are not trying to make the playoffs in 2024. The Chargers are. Hawk is rough in space. Yeah, well, yeah, and that's what I'm referring to. In space, I can care less. Laporta blocking. I have not seen that myself, but it's your team, not mine. I'm telling you what I've seen. I think he's an excellent blocker, but you guys watch more than I have. Next game is Pittsburgh at Indianapolis. Indianapolis opened as a 2.5-point favorite. They are at 1.5 now. People are seeing the same thing I'm seeing. I like the Steelers. I do like the Steelers to win this game. It's an upset pick. I just one thing I pointed out in my video. By the way, check it out. The link's below. The Colts have one of the NFL's worst run defenses. I think the Steelers are going to take advantage of it. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, ugly game. I like in a game like that. I think advantage Steelers. Am I sold on Trubisky? No, I'm not. I mean, it's funny because how do you break down games? Well, I mean, I like oh no, 53 minutes into a show and I have a brain freeze. Gardner Minshew. Okay. So I like Minshew more than I like Trubisky. Minshew more than Trubisky, but God, that I like Steelers. So Perry. Hey, Dan, hope you're doing well. You know, my day started off rough, but I'm having a great day. I'm having a great day. Would you want Ben Johnson as the Raider? As a Chiefs fan, no. But, you know, seriously, Antonio Pierce would probably go. Ben Johnson would bring a lot of Lions coaches with him. But when I look at Jared Goff, I look at Aiden O'Connell, you would get a lot of the same things, except Aiden O'Connell's got a little bit of a bigger arm. So pitcher Goff with a higher ceiling, lower floor, not by much. And that's kind of what you would have in Aiden O'Connell. And if I'm Ben Johnson, I look at Aiden O'Connell and like, hey, I can do the same thing with Jared Goff. I can have that same type of offense. Then what you would do with that 6th pick is you would draft an offensive lineman. By the way, guess who was the 6th pick in Detroit a few years ago? Penei Sewell. Which team has better receivers, Raiders or Lions? It's a legitimate question. So, yeah, I know, man. I you know, yeah. Funk, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. If the Saints becomes available, no, it is not. They're like $80 million over the cap. You're going to lose so many players in free agency. You may or may not have to stick with Derek Carr, who doesn't look like – I thought it would work. It doesn't look like it will. I think the Saints are a team that's going to be a really weird offseason for them because I think they're going to lose a lot of things. So, if they like Aiden O'Connell, then yeah. The final Saturday game is a good one. Denver at Detroit. Detroit opened up as a 5-point favorite. They're now 4.5 because people saw me pick Denver to win. I wish I could have that type of influence on point spreads. By the way, George Riley, a.k.a. Riley, he's been doing a lot of great sports betting. Follow him on Twitter if you don't already. He came on my show at the beginning of the year, and he agreed to come on at the end of the year, go over some of his picks. I just haven't circled back to him yet, but he's had some really great bets. He actually has a Detroit covering this week. That's why I bring it up, but I'm going opposite. I don't like to disagree with him. Anytime he picks something different than I pick, I question myself, and that there's not too many sports handicappers in the world I do that with. There's a lot of them that are popular that have a lot of followers that they pick something different than mine. I don't blank, but when George does something different, like he likes Lions cover 4.5, and I think he put $1,000 down. I'll double check, but I paused, and Lions have more talent. They're at home. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun game. I'm pulling for the Lions. I think Denver just gets it done. I really do, but the Lions have done a good job against AFC West this year, so we'll see what happens. It's going to be a great game. The NFL did a great job on Saturday. These are three really, really, really good teams. Really, really, really good teams. If the Saints job becomes available, I believe AG gets that job. I'll be honest with you. If the Saints job becomes available, I don't think they would even talk. I think they would. It would be a Rooney Rule. If the Saints get another head coach, it's going to be an offensive guy. And I'm going to level with you. I think they'll stick with Dennis Allen, no matter what they do. I think they'll stick with Dennis Allen. I really do. But if they do get a new head coach, they're going to go for an offensive-minded guy. And the reason why is that if they get a new head coach, what they're going to do is they're going to try to trade up and get a quarterback. And I'm looking at Jaden Daniels, and I'd be looking at them trading with the team I've been talking about, and that's the Raiders. If Aaron Glenn gets a job, it's kind of funny because the position that I think may be most appealing for the organization, and normally you go defensive, offensive, you may flip-flop here, is Aaron Glenn might be good for the Chargers job because you looking at offense and you got, I got Herbert. Instead of getting Staley, who was like the smartest guy in the room, let's get a former player. Somebody like Antonio Pierce, for example. And I think to be honest with you, if I'm Ben Johnson, I could understand the appeal of working with Herbert, but I honestly don't. This may not make sense. Maybe it's the energy drinks. I don't know. Aaron Glenn to the Chargers kind of looks. That's a Charger thing to do. So Staley, was hired because he was like the smartest guy in the room. Getting a former player makes a lot more sense. Where Ben Johnson, I kind of get the vibe that like he'll give across Staley vibes, like he's going to win because he's the smartest guy in the room. That's kind of my impression. You guys tell me. I don't know. I think a team that would. I seriously, I think a team like Chicago would be really good. One of those NFC South teams is going to have a position available. He knew if Washington's probably going to be available. So, hey, I'm all for it if it gives us You're not going to get comp pick for a coach. The best of my knowledge, you don't get comp picks for coaches. Next up, Atlanta at Carolina. Carolina's been steady at a 3-point home dog. I really wanted to pick Carolina to win this game. Just, rivalry, NFC South opponent, the new head coach. Maybe it took a week. I couldn't do it though. I picked Atlanta, but this is one game that I'm kind of like, man. Funk says a lot of people in Detroit think Ben Johnson's that. I'm going to be honest with you. It makes a lot of sense, but the Chargers do a lot of weird stuff. That's why I think that they could go Aaron Glenn instead, because they kind of zig where teams go zag. Now keep in mind they remember they had was Anthony Lynn, right? Former player. It didn't pan out. So then they went Staley, defensive guy. Ben Johnson kind of makes sense, but just the Chargers do some weird stuff, and I can see the Chargers just kind of getting behind Aaron Glenn. I don't know why. On paper, Ben Johnson makes the most sense. A lot of people get it because oh God, you're right. You are right. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I forgot. I forgot about the comp picks. I don't know if Flus keeps. I think if they can get, I really think if the Bears can get Harbaugh, they will. But if they can't, then Eberflus might stay. It'll be interesting. And I forgot about this. I completely forgot about this, Funk. I forgot. Drink more of an energy drink. Spill my energy drink. All right. I don't know why I'm drinking this. I am like redlining like a motherfucker. Giants at Saints was at 4.5. It's now 5.5. I love Tommy DeVito. I love his agent looking like a dude out of Sopranos. It's awesome. It's a great story. I'm pulling for him. I think people are seeing it coming to an end in New Orleans against a veteran defense. It makes sense. I get why the line jumped up to 5.5. It's probably going to jump to 6. I don't have the over-under pulled. Actually, I think I do have the over-under pulled up. Oh, I deleted it. All right, hold on. All right, I do have the over-under pulled up. I lied to you guys. I got DraftKings pulled up. It's 39. I have a hard time betting an under. That doesn't hit 40. I have a hard time any under that's got a 3 on it, but I could see it. I love this. I love this Tommy DeVito story. I love it so much. I'm really wanting this to work, but if I was betting, I would take the Saints. I really would. This could be like, a 27-10 game easy. I really do. I think the Saints. I keep in mind, I've been saying this. I think the Saints are going to win that division. So he's one of them. One pride says, but Ben Johnson is the most attractive coaching candidate. Could be. If he's not, Lou Anarumo, Bengals defensive coordinator, is really popular as well. One of my favorites. We're going to see who's available. Out of the coaches that were fired, Ben Johnson's more attractive than all of them, I would think. Eric Bieniemy is going to get some pub, even though Washington hasn't been doing so well. There's going to be, I think there may be a college guy that comes out of nowhere too. We'll see. Next up, Chicago at Cleveland. Cleveland opened as a 3.5. They're now 3. The Flacco looked good. I get that. Chicago's defense has really stepped up, and I kind of like what Fields is doing. But the Bears defense, Sweat's been a force, and I really wasn't expecting that. If you're betting this game, don't bet this game. I could easily see Chicago winning, but I think it's smart that the bets. If you're going to take Cleveland, try to find 2.5 somewhere. FTB. I feel like I should know who that is. Oh, okay. Just good looking one try, not always embarrassed. Yeah. Okay. Jets at Dolphins. Dolphins spread. Let me double check this because I thought it would fluctuate, but no, it stayed at 9. Yeah, it took me a minute, Funk. I'm sorry. Oh my God. We're getting dirty. And then my girl, Cheryl. From Hey Girl TV, Cheryl comes on, my main Dan. Hey. Yo, girl, what's up? Yeah. Cheryl's doing Vlogmas. She has these fantastic openings. She uses something I actually I've already forgot what it is that you use, but it's really cool. It's I'm not going to sing, but it's all Christmas stuff, and it's just awesome. These intros are amazing, and I'm not a Christmas guy. I'll be here for Christmas. I'm doing Chiefs Raiders Christmas play-by-play. But I mean, you got kids and stuff, so I get it. But the Vlogmas thing is really awesome. I really get a kick out of it. The intros are fantastic. So please check out Hey Girl TV. So if you're not subscribed to my girl Cheryl, why not? What's wrong with you? And seriously, check out the intros that she does. It's actually I'm not saying this, just say it. It's much better than mine. Happy holidays, everyone. Next up, Kansas City at New England. New England opened up as a 9.5 point home dog. It's now at 8. That's smart. It's probably going to drop to 7.5. Probably stay there. Kansas City doesn't like to cover big point spreads. They really, really don't. It wouldn't surprise me if this was a close game. I do think Kansas City wins. If you want to bet on the Patriots to win, I wouldn't blame you. Kansas City's been kind of falling apart, and the Patriots had a few extra days rest, so I get it. This line will drop if you do want to put action. This would be a good one if you. This I don't talk about this enough, but if you do sports betting, this would be a game I would 100% do something called hedging your bet. And what it is that, let's say you bet, let's use George. He bets $1,000. Okay, you're doing at -110, so that means that you're going to lose about 7.5%, 8%, if I remember right. I think it's like 7.5%. So basically, your $1,000 bet at -110 will win you about $920. Okay. What you would do is, if you're betting 1,000, what you may want to do instead, just bet 900 and then put 100 on the Patriots to win outright. So like you still win a good amount of money, right? But if the Patriots not only win but cover, then it's a big win. That's something called hedging your bets, and that's something I kind of want to do a little more gambling content. Denver Gator told me, like, Dan, do some more gambling content. If you're going to bet on a game, if you're going to bet on New England, Kansas City, depending on the amount, I would definitely bet on the Patriots to cover, but you may want to do a tiny bit, real tiny, well, in that situation, it would have been 10%, but 10% maybe less. So it doesn't. So you still win no matter what. But that's a game you want to bet the win. All I want for Christmas is for the Lions to win a division and a big booty snow. You're going to get the Lions win. I mean, you're definitely going to get the Lions to win the division. It's just a question of when. Keep in mind, I honestly, they may have the division won before you play the Vikings. I think really that what will happen is win or lose against the Vikings. I think you'll have it won. You may have it won by the time you play Dallas, even if you lose against Dallas. But you got the division. As far as snow goes, I can't answer that. Perry, what's your should watch game this week? For me, it's funny because all three of these Saturday games are great. But the game I got circled is Dallas at Buffalo. I really like this game. Both these teams come off their biggest wins of the year. Both these teams at times were considered Super Bowl teams. Dallas is unstoppable at home. They're you can beat them at home. Buffalo's an up and down team. So it's a fun game, man. It's a fun game. I get it. One pride. I get Hey Girl on here, and you have to do that. I mean, she gets it. But come on, man. I love One Pride though. I love One Pride. Dallas, Buffalo, Saturday. All three of these games are good games. All three of these games have playoff implications. Minnesota at the Cincinnati, playoff implications. Pittsburgh and Indy are currently the 6 and 7 seed holders. They're 7 and 6 teams. They're 6, 7 and 6 teams. So the winner almost like it comes like this close to locking up a spot where the loser is in really bad shape. That's a fun game. Denver at Detroit. Detroit loses in another game. They lose 3 out of 4. Lose any chance of the 1 seed. Denver, with a loss, eliminates almost. I mean, they're in that 7 and 6 spot too. Either Pittsburgh or Indianapolis could have a win. If Cincinnati wins, they'll be above them. So they're going to have 2 teams better when they play. So yeah. Chiefs not losing, but I would pick. So what it is, Kevin, is I don't think so. No. So here's the deal, Kevin. When you have a favorite like this, San Francisco, Arizona do the same thing. So if you're going to bet on the Patriots to win, if you're going to bet on Patriots to cover, what you want to do is something that's called hedging your bet. And what you want to do is take about 10% or maybe even less, and you want to bet a little on the Patriots winning outright. And what it is that you still win, but if there's some reason this fluke win happens, then you win big, and that's what you do. And you could also do the same thing. Arizona and San Francisco. Arizona's a 12-point favorite. It's division rival. They're at home. To be honest, so here's the deal. I had a guy who, when I first got into sports betting, he does college. Here's what he did is that he looked for more than a touchdown home underdogs, and he just circled all of those. Well, here's what I'm doing. Kansas City at New England. New England's an 8-point home dog. Arizona in the division game is a 12-point home dog. If you're going to bet $1,000 on this game, take 50 to 100 and bet on that team to win outright. And let me explain. Let me see if I can make this bet. I'll see if I can, okay? So the money line's plus 340 here, okay? So a $100 bet would win. My payout's 440. Okay, so 100's 440. All right. The cover 8's 108. So 900. So 900, my payout 1733. So I'm betting $1,000, right? I bet $1,000. Okay, that 100 I just throw away. I still win 1733. So I'm walking out of the casino with 1633, right? That's off the top of my head over a 60% profit, right? But let's just say the Patriots win that upset, right? I'm walking out. What was it? Four. I already forgot. 4 whatever. Okay, hold on. I'll do it right now. And by the way, stake all singles. There's a teaser option. Forget that. So here's the deal. If I'm betting $1,000 here. If I win, the Patriots upset and win, I'm walking out with 2173. Okay. Let's just say they win, but they don't cover. All right. I'm still walking out with 1633 out of my 1,000. So I'm still winning over 60. I'm taking out 63%. That's a good wager. Right. And that's why I recommend it. And by the way, there's exceptions. But don't get caught in teasers. By the way, DraftKings loves promoting teasers because that's how they make all their money. So do you think Russ Wilson gets traded this offseason? There are some teams that could use him, like the Bears and the Jets. I don't, but there is a possibility. There's always a possibility. I really don't think so. And I agree with you completely, Perry. Let's go back to the same chart. Denver currently is picking 16th. All right, actually, let me do this here. Let me bring up all of Denver's draft picks because I think I did this before. I did this with Denver Gator just the other night. So Denver picks 16. They don't have a second round pick, but they pick 76, 77, and 80. And so you have 3 third-round draft picks. You don't need all 3, right? You could give up a 1 and a 3 and a number 1 next year, and you got. I mean, I'm looking at these teams. I'm looking at the Jets at 7, right? If you're the Jets, do you take 16, 80, and a number 1 next year when you have Aaron Rodgers and you have Zach Wilson? Probably. At number 6, you can get somebody. I haven't mentioned Bo Nix's name yet. Where do you have him? Is there a chance you're picking at 16th? You're Denver. Is there a chance Bo Nix is available at 16? I don't think Bo Nix is Sean Payton's type of guy either, but Bo Nix is a guy might be available at 16. When you look up the word football in the dictionary, your picture comes up. You're the man. That's what the hubby. I love this girl. And her husband's super awesome. They hired Peyton to fix Wilson. He succeeded. It's still not the long-term answer, though. It really isn't. I mean, Wilson's going to be there for another couple of years, but it wouldn't surprise me if you draft somebody. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Nix could very easily be a guy. Jaden Daniels may be a guy. Was it Felix Robinson? Is that the Washington quarterback? Let me ask you something. Tua's younger brother out of Maryland, I'm seeing everything from 2nd to 5th round. When if he's available in the 3rd round? Do you not take a flyer on a guy like that? I think it wouldn't surprise me if Denver takes a quarterback. And by the way, Sean Payton went to East Illinois where Tony Romo came. I kind of think that Denver won't go after a first-round guy, but are they going to bring in somebody like, I don't know, like not Aiden O'Connell, but Aiden O'Connell's a 4th-round pick. What's Denver's biggest need? That's a great question. If I'm looking at the draft, I would say quarterback. if I'm looking at the team as a whole, I would actually, believe it or not, I would. I mean, they got Jerry Jeudy, who hasn't really panned out yet. You got Cortland Sutton, who's pretty good. Tim Patrick's been banged up. I almost said they have no fan. They do not have no fan. The offensive line's not bad. It's a little banged up. I love Javonte Williams. They could use another piece in the secondary. The defense is really good. I mean, they could use another piece in the secondary. I'll be honest with you. If I'm looking at the draft, I really would look at quarterback. What's Denver's biggest need? For me, it's quarterback. But if you're going to say, hey, I'm going with Russell Wilson, I got pick number 16 in the draft, I might just go best player available regardless of position. But if I'm looking at Denver and it's like, man, I really want to succeed, I would go after a wide receiver, and I might try to shop Jeudy, who hasn't really panned out in that offense. I'm going to say receiver, but to be honest, when I look at Denver overall, I don't see a big need except that I would try to get younger at quarterback. Oh man, I got Keys in the house, tight end. I haven't looked so much. Well, I'm so glad to see Keys. I haven't done a lot of looking at the draft except for Bowers, who's probably going to be gone. By the way, Brock Bowers is available at 16 for Denver. Absolutely take him. I don't know if there's anyone else, but if I'm Denver at 16, and you know what? Who is there? You know what? I'm embarrassed to admit this. I don't even know who the Broncos tight end is off the top of my head. I know they had Noah Fant, who I'd really like. They got Troutman. I forgot about Troutman completely. Dolich is on IR. But I could see tight end. I could see wide receiver as well. Troutman was a guy I really liked. Really, really liked. Dolich is a guy that they also really liked. He's on IR. Dolich is a good guy, but I really think that could be receiver. I know they got Mims. And I know I love Sutton, and I know they got Jerry Jeudy. I got a weird feeling they're going to try to move on for Jerry Jeudy. I really think so. I could also see them going corner as well. Denver needs. I know. But they can and should hire Brian. Keys is on fire. What if they get Cooper DeJohn? I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. Oh God, I'm so happy. I'm having such a great time. Next game, Houston at Tennessee. Tennessee opened up as a 2-point favorite. They're now 3.5. It does not appear that CJ Stroud is going to play, but it does not appear that he is going to play, but he's not been ruled out. So here's the drill. If you're going to bet on this game, you should have already done it. If Stroud plays, this line's going to drop to under 3, and you're on your own. When he's ruled out, and I think he becomes officially ruled out, you'll probably go up to 4, but I think it's too much for a Tennessee team. Don't bet on this game, but I do like Tennessee. And it's a shame too, because I would love to see Houston make the playoffs. I would love to see Houston make the playoffs, but I like Tennessee to win. Betting public's liking this game as well. Are you having a good as time as when you went to Wyoming and visited a cheap? Oh, Chad. Oh, God. I'm dying to tell you what I'm doing tomorrow, Chad. I am dying to tell you, but keep your phone ready. It took too much of a time between the end of the first half of last night's game. I told Denver Gator that I thought you could have fired him at halftime. What goes to Detroit and becomes to Detroit? Well, Keys, rumor has it he's starting in OnlyFans. Oh God. Oh man. At worst, they should have Herm Edwards. Do you remember Gunther Cunningham? His wife found out on the internet, or no, he found out on the internet. This is like 2000. Was it 2000 or 2000? No, was it 90? It was at the end of 99 season. Gunther Cunningham found out on the internet. Carl Peterson fired him and met him at the end zone at the end. Seriously, I told Denver Gator you could have fired him at halftime. I've never seen a team. Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that. Was horrible. I love Herm. God, I love Herm. I don't want him as my head coach though. Are there any franchise? There's a lot of both, and I think some of the guys are left tackles are going to move over to the right side. There's several, and I think. Without doing a deep dive, I think Joe Alt, son of John Alt, played left tackle for the Chiefs for like 10 or 12 years. Keys, what college did John Alt go to? I can't remember. But Joe Alt goes to Notre Dame. And I honestly think he could be the draft pick in New England. Let me see. I think New England picks second. Yeah, right now they pick. It wouldn't surprise me he goes number 2 to New England. I think he's that good. I love Herm. Keys, you have another NFL tight end waiting to be drafted. I think the Raiders could use it. He was a good man, and he banged. Oh, God, he got a lot of money from the Chiefs. Herm Edwards was funny as hell. You played with. Oh, God. Herm Edwards press conferences were amazing. And, even he used to come on. I don't listen to local sports radio anymore, but Herm Edwards would come on local sports radio. He was amazing. I love Herm Edwards. I love hearing him talk. I wish he's one of the few guys I really wish I could just like shake his hand. I love Herm Edwards. One of my favorites of all time. I can see Tyler Newman getting drafted to the Lions. I don't know who that is either. Next game's Tampa Bay at Green Bay. Green Bay's been a steady 3.5-point favorite at home. Weather is not going to be a factor. It's going to be over 40, which is practically a heat wave in Wisconsin in December. It's a fun game because this game has playoff implication. Both teams are 6-7. I think it'd be a lot of fun to see Tampa Bay win this game, but I really like Green Bay to bounce back after a rough Monday night thing. Playoff, you know what I wanted a sound bite, and I tried to, and the ones the clips I found weren't very good. And I may get it may be a notification issue, or I'm sorry, a monetization issue, but the Herm Edwards soundbite where I'm sorry, not the Herm Edwards soundbite. My mistake. It was the forgive me. It's the playoff former Saints coach. They have a lot. They just don't have money in the first. I say a lot, but they got him in the second. So Luke Lachey was a junior, got injured. I want to say fairly early in the season. The Panthers don't have a first-round draft pick, but they picked 33. Jim Mora, that's the name I was trying to think of. Yeah, Jim Mora. I tried to do Jim Mora soundbite. So, I wanted to do that so bad and put that in my videos, but everyone I could find it just wasn't very good. Unfortunately, love Jim Mora. He's remembered for that soundbite, but he's a really good coach. Really good coach. I talked about this earlier, but San Francisco at Arizona was a 14. Now it's a 12. Makes sense. Yeah. So if Lachey comes back for a senior season, it'll probably be a next gen. Probably. They Dennis Green. God, that was such a great soundbite, and some of the interactions between him and Randy Moss. Randy Moss talks about it. Is comical too, but yeah, the Dennis. I remember watching that live, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I watched that live, and oh god, if that was today. If that happened today, the Dennis Green memes would never stop. If that happened today, it would never stop. It would oh god, that was so good. That's actually better than playoffs. It really is. It's actually better than playoffs. It really, 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 really is. God, that was so good. That was so good. God, that was a good one. Yeah, Dennis Green, really good coach, man. It's hard when you're the first coach in. Yeah, he's talking about the Bears. He went 15 and first NFL coach to go 15-1 in the regular season and not make the Super Bowl. A few years later, McCarthy did it with the Packers, and then one other team did it, I think. Well, Ron Rivera went to the Super Bowl, but yeah. So what happened is they were up 20-0, and they had Edgerrin James at the time. And Edgerrin James, I remember Edgerrin James. Somebody can look it up, but he had. I'm not exaggerating. It was like 32 or 37 carries for like 70 yards. So what happened is they had rookie Matt Leinart, USC grad. And they had Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden, and they said, okay, well, look, we have this great defense. Let's just have some fun. Let's just let it rip, and that's what they did. And I think there was a turnover because it was Rex Grossman as quarterback. So they jumped out to a 20-0 lead, and he did what most NFL coaches would have done. You got a Hall of Fame running back in Edgerrin James, and you have a rookie quarterback, so let's protect him. And the offense just went into a shell. And I remember late in the game, it was like 20-13, and they stripped Edgerrin James, and the defense ran it back for a touchdown. So I think it's their second defensive touchdown. And then like 3 minutes left for some reason. Oh God, another name freeze. A lot of people think he should be in Canton. I think he should be too. Former Miami Hurricane, played in Atlanta. Devin Hester. Okay, sorry about that. For some reason, they punt directly to Devin Hester, and he takes it right back to the house. And it was funny because like the offense is like however bad you think Zach Wilson looked, or Josh Dobbs or whoever, Rex Grossman was worse. I mean, he was so bad. I mean, he could barely. It was terrible, and they couldn't do anything on offense. But they scored. I think it was 2 defensive touchdowns and Devin Hester. I know they stripped Edgerrin James, and it was such a shame because he had. I know it was over 30. I really think it was 37 carries, and it was like 70 yards. It was. If it wasn't 2 yards a carry, it was like 2-2 or something. I mean, they had this defensive tackle by the name of Tommy Harris, who Brian Urlacher won Player of the Year. Tommy Harris got hurt, and even though the defense was still great, Tommy Harris added something because they ran that Tampa 2 defense, and in that Tampa 2 defense, you need absolute stud. Tommy Harris was like unblockable. Like he was pseudo. I hate to say it, but he was like pseudo Warren Sapp. Like he was literally unblockable. And then you had a guy like Urlacher. You had some playmakers in the secondary. Peanut Tillman, Mike Brown had some good good. I don't know if he's a star, but he had some really good games. He had a couple pick sixes, back-to-back games of pick sixes. I think it was back-to-back games of pick sixes in overtime that won the game. And but Tommy Harris got hurt. I always wondered if Tommy Harris was healthy for that Super Bowl, if it would have made a difference, but I don't think it would. Grossman was just terrible. But yeah, that game, it was so frustrating too, because if they would have just stuck with, and this sounds so crazy, take the ball out of the Hall of Fame running back's hands, put it into a rookie's. But here's the deal. You had Anquan Bolden. You had Larry Fitzgerald. And even though you had some really good corners on that team, those receivers could make plays. And they totally went into it. And by the way, back then you did that. You leaned on your running backs. And that's what the Cardinals did, and it backfired. Keys, tight end, grows on trees over at Iowa, and y'all have a lot of DBs over there too. Hester impacted every game. Teams ended up kicking the ball out of bounds, accidentally trying to. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So here's what happened with Brian Urlacher. Brian Urlacher played safety all 4 years at New Mexico, and nobody to this day can really explain it. He was a 6'2", 220, 230-pound safety. So what happened is, between his senior year, after he played, and the combine, he had this crazy growth spurt where he grew 2 inches and 30 pounds. So he went from 6'2", 230 to 6'4", 260, but he still ran like a 4.5 something. And nobody knew what to do. So the rumor was it was steroids, but he grew 2 inches in height. Now, this happens occasionally, but almost never happens after you're done playing. But it happened with Urlacher. So like Terrell Owens went to Middle Tennessee State on a track scholarship. He was 6 foot 170. Well, he grew to 6'3", 235, but he kept the speed. Joe Alt, who we were just talking about, went to Notre Dame as a tight end, and he just grew. And you do have growth spurts. It may have been towards my senior year, but at the beginning of my senior year in high school, I was 5'6", about 125, 130. I finished high school, went straight to boot camp, came back from boot camp in AIT. I was 5'8", 160. And the difference between 130 and 160 of solid muscle is a big deal, especially when you're, 17, 18 years old. But yeah, I had a growth spurt, and boot camp does that to you. Like if you're skinny like myself, you put on weight. There was a lot of guys that lost like crazy amounts of weight too. But yeah, Urlacher had this growth spurt after. Now keep in mind, back then it was a smaller season, and New Mexico wasn't a perennial powerhouse. So like this could have happened during the season as well, but like before the season started, he was like 6'2", 220, 225. I mean, he was on NFL radar, but it wasn't until he got to the combine and they measured him at 6'4", 260, but he still ran like a safety, and nobody knew what to think. And they were like, it's weird because he looks like the guy from Rocky IV, the Russian. But nobody could figure it out. Everybody thought steroids, but you don't grow 2 inches with steroids. But it was a freak of nature. It was just weird. And the Bears wisely said, yeah, we'll try. Yeah. I get it. Iowa does have a great coaching staff. Yeah. As for me, I was 5'9", 171 in high school. I didn't know you're 210. Yeah. Yeah, I know my senior year in high school was like 125, 130, and I grew 2 inches, put on 30 pounds. And I remember I got measured at the beginning of the year. You used to have to get measured on your physical. And I knew I was like 5'6", 130, I think. I don't. And the measurement wasn't actually for sports. It was for the military. So, but I came back from boot camp and I grew 2 inches and, I had the shaved head and 30 pounds of muscle, and it was weird. I actually lost a lot of that weight pretty fast too. So you are a pretty big dude, man. I had no idea. I'm not going to reveal who it is, but like I've seen pictures of you. I didn't think you were that big. You are a big dude. Yeah. Washington at the Rams. Rams opened up as a 7-point favorite, now 6.5. I think Washington's one of those teams kind of given up. They're fresh off a bye. The Rams very easily could have won Baltimore. I think the Rams are a team that's getting very dangerous right now. I don't know if I'd want them to cover 6.5, but I really like them to cover 6.5. So Dallas at Buffalo. Buffalo opened as a 2.5-point favorite. It's now 2. This is going to be such a fun game, man. I think Dallas wins and covers. Dallas is a dog, so I apologize, but I mean, I think when I look at this team, like which team's better, and it's definitely Dallas. Even though Dallas is coming off a big rivalry. How big? I thought you were about my size, except you looked a little stockier. I was thinking you were more like 5'9", 170, 180, something like that, maybe 190. But I didn't know you're over 200. I didn't think you were that big. So this could be like a dirty joke, but it's not. I think Dallas has more talent. I really do. And I think Buffalo, I think it's more likely Buffalo would drop back down than Dallas, but you don't know. This is such a pivotal game because Dallas is fighting for the number 1 seed, and Dallas at home is just different. Buffalo is one of the 6, 7, and 6 teams. And I'm looking here, Pittsburgh or Indy, one of those teams is going to win. I think Cincinnati's going to win. Denver could win in an upset. They could lose. All right. They could lose. Houston, I think, could lose. What's the other one? Maybe I got them all. So there's a chance. Be like your boy Chad, boot camp. I was 166 feet and graduated 148. How do I say this politely, Chad? You are over 148 pounds now. Chad is over 148. For those of you who do not know my boy Chad, he weighs a little over 148. Chad's always been a big dude. But yeah, he I always thought you were taller than 6 foot, Chad. Dak's good. Dude, Dak is you're 253. So you're 6 foot. You're 253. That's not a bad number. Right now, Dak's putting himself in MVP conversations. Ferguson's a really good tight end. I don't know if he's top 5, but we had a Cowboys fans like he's really good. CeeDee Lamb's playing out of his mind. And they also got other good receivers, but that defense is flat out scary. No. Okay, I didn't want to say anything, but yeah. You were about you've lost some weight, but yeah, 309. Away game out. I know, but I'm not sold on Buffalo. What a great question, Perry. What teams have a lot to prove in the playoffs? Kansas City. Kansas City is looking at themselves like a dynasty team, and they've looked very, very, very vulnerable right now. They've had 5 consecutive AFC conference championship games at Arrowhead, and the Chiefs are currently the 3 seed. They're 2 behind Baltimore, one behind Miami, but they hold the tiebreaker. So I think Kansas City. Baltimore's another one. If they have the 1 seed with all these weapons after all that money they gave to Lamar Jackson, if they don't get it done this year, you gotta really look at the Ravens and go, what else can we do? Because Odell Beckham's not going to re-sign there. They're going to lose some pieces in free agency. I mean, it's really, this is it. So those two. I think San Francisco has a lot to prove. They went to the NFC Conference Championship game, and they kept on saying, well, if we were healthy. Well, you are now. I mean, but maybe they won't be then. Philly has a lot to prove. They lost 2 straight. Dallas has a lot to prove, believe it or not, even if they're a 5 seed again. Yeah. Excuse me. Chad, I really didn't know you were 253. I do know one. I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, I know you're at 309. But yeah, and that's all. That's awesome. I hope you keep shredding the weight. Last year in December, I was 220. That's awesome. If you're dead set on losing weight, here's what you need to do. If you really want to lose weight, here's what you need to do: get a digital scale. And you have to create a numeric goal. You can't say, I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to try to get more fit. You have to set a goal. And at the most, you want to do 2.5 pounds a week. Actually, okay, listen, Chad, when you're at 300, you could have said 3, and that would have been okay. But now, well, since you've lost all that weight, you may even want to go 2. But 2.5 pounds is what you should be going at. Get a digital scale. Every 0.1 that you're over, every 0.1 you run that much every single day until your next weigh-in. Weigh in once a week at the same time. I used to do Monday morning first thing. Now, the only thing is, I would do if I had to pee really bad, I would pee first and then I would weigh myself. But it would just be, my alarm goes off, I weigh myself Monday morning, I write it down. Digital scale. Every 0.1 you're over, run that much plus with your workout. All this, no white bread and no soda. Are you serious, Keys? Because we're about the same. Are you serious? If you're not, I'm not trying to make fun of you. I had no idea because I thought you're about my height, my weight. Yeah. Eat everything. Why 1% body weight? I look at saturated fat and sugar on everything I eat. Like my energy drink, all my energy drinks are sugar-free. I don't drink juice. You'd be surprised how much sugar apple juice, orange juice has. You'd be floored. Soda's a bad one. If you, by the way, if you just seriously, if you drink like 1 or 2 sodas a day, if you quit drinking soda and it's hard. Walmart has this carbonated soda, carbonated water that you can use as a soda's energy drinks are highly addictive. But I used to just crush Coca-Cola like crazy. So I had no idea. Wow. Losing. Okay. So yeah, 2.5. I've lost 30 pounds twice in my life. And it's my Aunt Connie sent me an assload of chocolate. So I weighed myself last week. I was at 172. It's the first time I've been over 170 in a while. But a couple of years ago, I was at 200. Keep me informed of your journey. Link below. Link below. I had no idea, man. That's amazing. Seriously, Keys, forget football. You should make a YouTube video on how you went from 330 to now. That's amazing. Second, yeah. Okay, yeah. By the way, that's not good. But here's the thing though, Chad. I've seen pictures of Chad, so I know for a fact he was like 160, 140. But I've always known him to be almost $3 bills, and yeah, I get it, but that's not healthy. Don't drink juice. Yeah, that's a good one. Microsoft meals if you eat 3 hours. So here's another tip. This works for me, but I eat a huge breakfast. You cannot skip breakfast, but I eat a big breakfast. And the reason why I eat a big breakfast is that I work long shifts. So I bring with me almonds, 3 bananas, 2 muscle milks, 2 energy drinks, and lately I've been doing just 1 water. But this summer I was doing 2 because it was like 95, 100 outside, and I'm outside a lot. So I need to cut down the energy drinks. But no, I'm sorry. I said Microsoft. I know you meant micro meals. But anyway, I know someone who had really bad sleep apnea, and after he got diagnosed and got CPAP, he started losing weight. Like, no, that's you remember Patrick Peterson? He weighed like 220, and he was like at 230, and he found out he was diabetic, and he lost like 20 pounds just because he was diabetic. You should drink half your water weight in a day. If you weigh 200 pounds, drink 100 ounces of water. I tried that. I pee like nonstop, so I don't do that anymore. But I eat a big breakfast, and then it's liquid lunches except for the 3 apples and the almonds. And then when I get home, I eat a lot. But I also, right behind me is a Smith machine. I've done this too, and it sucks. I'll work 12 hours. I'll eat like a horse, and I get that bloated feeling, and I still force myself to work out. There's been a couple times I've almost thrown up, but I do it every day. I kind of went off topic here. This is some great. I wish you would, and I wish you'd give me a jersey. Why I don't have a jersey? I'm kind of pissed. We all knew what you meant. Don't listen to Keith. We all knew what you meant. I would actually increase that. If you eat a big breakfast, it helps burn off energy. The one thing is though, you have a sit down job. If you have it like me personally, I'm moving around during the day, so a big breakfast for me is a little more beneficial. But you 100% do not want to skip breakfast. I did today. I skipped breakfast today, but I was not expecting to work. I was only expecting to work till like 1. I was going to meet Lexi today. I worked till 4:30. I missed Lexi, but then she texted me and says, "Oh, Dan, I forgot, but I really just wanted to secretly get your number because you're hot as hell." Paraphrasing. But Microsoft protein bar at 900. Chad, I might have to bring you over a case of muscle milk. 0 sugar. I love the taste of it. I like it. At lunch, a 250 calorie high protein. I'm so proud of you, man. I didn't know you were 253. Christmas season. Yeah, my Aunt Connie literally sent me a 3-pound box of chocolates plus another Advent box of chocolates. And then I'm not exaggerating, a 2-foot tall box of I couldn't resist the chocolate covered pretzels and cookies, chocolate covered pretzels, more cookies. And these are I can't explain it. They're like the best cookies in the world. I couldn't resist some of them. It got me over 170. Yeah. Eat small meals throughout the day. Stay away from pop, sugar, drink water. Yeah, I know. I do energy drinks a lot, but I do drink a little bit of water. I was trying to drink more water, but I pee like nonstop. Apparently I have the bladder of a thimble or something. Walks helps. Yeah. Eat water-dense foods, not calorie-dense foods. So it's funny because I never pay attention to calories, but I pay attention to saturated fat and sugar. Those are two things, and it sucks because I love pizza, and I keep thinking I'm gonna go by the grocery store and see that one pizza that doesn't have carbs or whatever. Um, Perry, you're in Canada. You say pop too. I say soda, but I'm different. I know. You drink the water; it helps with. That's true. Kidney health in your bladder. You who cares? Yeah, yeah, I know. Okay, so here's the drill. I shouldn't tell the story about that. I do Walmart Sparks. I do Walmart grocery, and this summer it was like 95 degrees. It was one of 9,500-degree days. So anyway, I'm chugging water, and I just had to pee so bad. So I got to this apartment complex, and there's bushes in the back, right? And I had no choice. I was literally doing like the dance. Like there was one time I ran into a bath station holding my junk, and as soon as I let go, it like peed. I had a wet spot on my pant leg, and it was anyway. I go to pee. I think I'm going to open. I look to my left, and it's a golf course, and it's like right in the middle. I'm sitting here, So anyway, I kind of move so like I'm covered in the woods, right? I come home and I got chigger bites on both my cock and balls. This giant red welts in the itch, and like I'm sitting here like, well, look what it looks like. It was just so bad, and I'm like, okay, I got to cut the water out. I got to cut the water. Cookies and peanut. Oh God, I love peanut butter balls. Dan's contract with Walmart's price, probably. I'm not. I seriously, this summer I had to just like there was a handful of times this summer when I almost broke. But the one time I ran into the bathroom, I remember I ran into the gas station holding my stuff, and it peed on my pants. I peed on my shorts. It dissolved instantly. It was one of those days, and it was so funny that there was two different bathrooms, men and women. So there's no paper towels, and I had to use like napkins at the coffee station. And I told the guys like, "Oh, I'm out of paper towels," and luckily he had some. I think he saw me running in holding my junk. So but yeah, there was several times I just like had no control. I stopped doing two and I do one because it was just bad. Speaking of, Dan, you've heard of Elf on the Shelf. I have a friend who I was part of the summer camp crew with who had a tick on his. It was so bad. I swear to God. Every time because I couldn't stop itching. I swear if I looked down, I swear it was glowing. It was like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on both, not just one. It was on both. That was the thing. I had these giant red itchy welts on both my cock and balls. And so I went down to one water. But yeah. Trying to become an edge. Dude, send me some more stuff about this. That would be awesome. 70 calorie fiber 1 bars. If you have yeah, I'm not joking. I do 3 apples a day and almonds, and I love almonds. I do the salt free, like just plain almonds. And the only negative about it is I swear I get the stuff in my teeth. So it looked so bad though. I mean, I'm not going to take a picture, but it was like, I swear to God, like if I turn these lights off, it was like glowing red. I mean, it was so bad. And it itched like hell. I mean, there were several times I'm driving and I'm doing this, and I always look over at people. Thank God most people do this at stoplights, but it itched so bad. It was terrible. Actually, I got 3 notifications here from Spark, so maybe I have been fired. I may have been fired from Spark already, so we'll find out here. Yeah. So anyhow, Yeah, I eat a big breakfast, but the problem is usually I eat really big when I get home, and every now and then I'll eat some junk food when I'm driving. Um, but yeah. All right. That, anything goes. Who knows what happens on this live stream? I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Sunday night football is a good one. Baltimore, Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a 3.5 point home dog. I really thought this point spread would fluctuate, but it stayed at 3.5. And yeah, that's interesting. Perry, in the U.S., it's super regional. Pop is Midwest. The U.S. South calls also. Yeah, that is true. The Northeast calls it soda. Yeah. So for me, I was born in Baltimore, and I always called it soda. I always called it soda. And people out here call it pop. It's really weird. The South calls everything Coke. This is not an exaggeration. If you go down south, they will ask you what kind of Coke do you want, and you can say it's whether it's Pepsi or cherry or whatever. They call it all Coke. It's really weird. Turkey, you know what I do? Okay, so I probably shouldn't promote this, but Sam's Club has these. I swear to God, these mutant rotisserie chickens. So what I do is I get one like they shouldn't last 2 weeks, but sometimes they last 2 weeks for me. And I get these banquet frozen meals, and the ones I get are high in protein, low in saturated fat. So, by the way, if you do banquet frozen dinners like I do, the key is hot sauce. Like they are bland as fuck. You got to get hot sauce. So I heat it up, and then I pull the film back, and I heat it up again. Well, the second time I pull the film back, I take the rotisserie chicken, I throw the chicken in there, and then I heat it up so it's just extra rotisserie chicken, and it fills you up. It fills you up. But the key is if you do the banquet frozen dinners like I do, and I eat a lot of them, you need hot sauce. Anything goes is out there. I'm not joking. There was a couple times I'm at a red light and I'm just sitting here going to town. And yeah. So if you like to hunt news, so my mom gets deer meat, and it's beyond delicious. My mom gets deer jerky, and it's also delicious. So she used to make this deer chili, and I could not stop eating it. So one day I swear to God, I ate like 3 or 4 bowls of deer chili at night, and I was in the bathroom for like 2 hours. I could not stop. It just zipped right. Apparently deer chili just. I couldn't do it. They were pissed. They were like, Dan, you've been in the bathroom for like 2 hours. And I was like, I can't stop. I won't eat deer chili anymore. I could not stop. It was not possible. But deer meat, if you've ever had deer meat, or I can't, my mom's deer chili, I just say no to. It is so good. If I have like 3 or 4 bowls, I'll eat 3 or 4 bowls straight. It is so good. Deer jerky is fantastic. I think I've had bison. I never had elk. Oh, drink soda completely. Cut out soda completely. Even the sugar-free stuff, cut it out. But I drink sugar-free root beer and sugar-free Sprite. According to my brother, they call everything really. I didn't know that. That's really weird. But yeah. If you want to lose weight, cut soda out completely. Even the diet sugar-free stuff. Some people here call all pop Coke. That is so strange. Peruvian. I don't know what that means. If it's processed or not. Eat some protein that will kill any cravings. Deer plus chilies. Oh God, no! It seriously. The words backblast area clear could not. I'm not. During an 8-hour shift at work, I wish I was exaggerating. I spent 2 hours in the bathroom. I could not stop. But yes, deer meat. My mom's deer chili is one of the best foods I've ever had in my life, and my mom makes some, and she goes, "Do you want some?" I said, "No, I can't do it." Buffalo is good as hell. I got a restaurant close to. Oh yeah, I've had bison burgers, and it's delicious. I get rid of the top of the bun and smash them. I love deer jerky is amazing. Deer jerky is amazing. No sugar. I call it soda. That yeah. I cut out soda completely. Even the diet stuff. Yeah, Chad, you know Sean. He used to drink Diet Dr Pepper, and then he goes, "Well, it has the same amount of sugar as regular." It really doesn't, but any type of soda, just if you're trying to lose weight, soda is the enemy. Like if you just not drink soda, it will work. Final game is Monday night. Philly at Seattle. Seattle opened up as a 4-point favorite. It's now, excuse me, now 3. I really thought this would go the opposite way, but people are really buying into Philly. And I think Philly, if you can be honest, if you find under 2.5, I would really take Philly. Seattle's lost 4 straight. They played Dallas really tough. It's at home on Monday night. I know Philly's been blown out in back-to-back weeks. I like Philly a lot. It's the point spread's dropped, but I really expect Philly to win. In my picks video, make sure you do watch it if you haven't already. So I grew up on Wired. Oh my God, I would love to have some bear meat. Chad, I don't know if he jokes around about this, but Chad says he makes squirrel stew, and he teases his wife that he's going to just give her squirrel stew. But yeah, I've never had squirrel, but I want to. I would love to eat some bear meat. I think if I grew up eating more deer meat, it wouldn't be as bad as it was. But in an 8-hour shift, they were so pissed that I was in the bathroom that much. They were so pissed, and I was like, I told my mom, I was like, never again. It was so good too. Not squirrel, rabbit. I thought you made squirrel. I thought you made. I've never had squirrel. I would eat squirrel though. I would love to have bear though. I drink 1 soda pop, Coke spray. I drink water the rest of the day. You should drink 140 ounce. Holy shit. My A1C looks great. My pants are 32 waist. I need a belt. No, that's fine. You're in great shape. If you're a heavy dude and you're trying to lose weight and you're drinking soda, just stop. Me and Chad know, a good friend of mine, he weighs over 270, but I knew him when he was 160, and he's addicted to Dr. Pepper, and he eats fast food all the fucking time. And he's tried Weight Watchers like 9 times, and I'm like, "Did you stop drinking soda?" No. But yeah. You are fine if you're drinking. By the way, if you're drinking 140 ounces of water, which is wow. I have. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on it. So I bought a 24 pack of bottled water. And then what I do is I keep the plastic bottles, and then my sink has a water filtration, and then I have the charcoal pitcher, so I double dip. One of my neighbors said that when she moved in, she was watering the plants and they were dying. So I'm like, well, the water from the pipes are killing the plants. It's probably not that good for me. So I double dip in the water. So I use the same bottles. So like, even though I forget the name brand of it, it looks like that. It's just, and I used to drink 2 16-ounce bottles every day, but I just kept peeing all the time. Now, keep in mind, I drink an energy drink in the morning or coffee and some water. So like with breakfast. Also, I've been drinking almond milk lately, and I love it. I've been drinking almond milk for like a couple months. I've never had it. I've never had it. Funk, you have to marinate the rabbit overnight in a salt brine. Bears are greasy, really. Weight Watchers. My buddy's done it. Chad knows who it is. It's a buddy of mine. He's done it like 7. I know him when he was like 170. Now he's like over 270. And He's tried Weight Watchers 7 to 8 times. So it's funny. Like we went out to eat to a Mexican restaurant, and they give you chips. He takes salt and just levels it, and he's like, "There's not enough salt." And I'm like, I think it's fine. I try not to. I don't go out to eat with him anymore. Black Bear anyway. Yeah. I was thinking The Office. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. You guys probably won't get it, but that just what got me thinking of it. I've never had bear. I would love to try bear. No shit. Alligator is pretty good. No clue how good it is for you. Kind of a cross between chicken and pork. Oh God. Drink some Gatorade so you don't piss like a racehorse. LOL. What I really need to do is stop drinking these because today this is energy drink number 3 and I'm back on the doing 3 a day. So I'm trying. Well, tomorrow, I'm not going to drink any energy drinks tomorrow. It's going to be coffee and water, but it's not the same long type of day. So at Sam's Club, they get a 3-pack of almond milk for like $6 or $7, and I love it. Chad, I'm a decent cook, and I understand how to apply a good rubber marinade, but still not a fan. Yeah, Chad's a fantastic cook. I didn't know you were, Funk. I can't cook to save my life. I get the banquet frozen meals. The ones I get high protein, low saturated fat. The key is hot sauce. I got that like 4-pound jug of red hot sauce, but it doesn't funnel. So I bought a bottle of hot sauce. It's actually really good from the dollar store. It's like Taco John's or Texas Tom's or something like that. It's actually pretty good. But I got it just for the bottle. So after I used it, I just poured a bottle into. So because it's a gap, like you can't. The hole's like this big in 4-pound bottles, so you can't pour that onto your. I tried it once and like it was more hot sauce than food. So. Seal meat? I've never tried seal meat. Your friend needs to eat bland for 2 to 3 weeks to reset his taste buds. I don't know how to say this politely. I mean, I've known him for over 30 years. He's just, it won't, I mean, he's probably going to balloon. He's probably going to hit 3 bills here if he's not already. He won't. He'll probably, seriously, it wouldn't surprise me if for New Year's, I'm going to Weight Watchers, and then by February he's done. And the reason why I know this is because he's never said, "Hey Dan, how do I lose weight?" And I have the Smith machine right there. So. Salt is horrible. Yeah, he just he eats like shit. Yeah. Never had gator meat, hurts DC. I never did. When I first started losing weight, I would do a bowl of old fashioned, not instant oat. I love old. Yeah, I got a thing of it right there. Both in the morning, at night, we use a tablespoon of peanut butter with some peanut butter. Huh. Right before I went on, I had some peanut butter crackers, and I love peanut butter. Yeah, I usually drink 2 a day when I'm on the road, and I get like a 12-pack of it almost weekly. Yeah. I cook 90% of the food in my house. My wife can do stuff in the crock pot. Really? That's pretty awesome. I own a crock pot. I hardly use it. I've had cat, monkey, and dog. No shit. The monkey was great. Huh. That's why I say it's kind of like pork. Also, it's kind of funny. No, he would not give up Dr. Pepper. He switched Dr. Pepper for Diet Dr. Pepper, and it didn't work. But I've heard that. So also ice water baths, like just going into ice water, polar bear club, stuff like that. I've heard that. I bought a couple years ago, like it's like this, it's hard to explain. It's like a square ice pack and put it on your stomach. I only did it once. I still have it. I just haven't used it. So Out of high school, I worked at Burger King. I had to quit because it depressed me. There was a big guy come through drive-thru every day. You can get a couple double or triple Whopper meals. That guy we're talking about, he does that. Stop. No, I got I got the good, like the all naturals. It's good. Yeah, I'll try it, but I'll be honest. The peanut butter, it's like the organic stuff. It's much better. But yeah, I go. There's very little sugar that I eat. There's very little sugar. Exactly. Yeah. So that's what he did. He's like, I'm gonna go healthy. I'm gonna have 5 Diet Dr. Peppers instead of 5 regular, and I will be healthy. And he did it for like a week. Yeah, but if you want to, I was addicted to soda. Soda's a very addictive substance. So what you have to do, okay, what I had to do was I had to go to Walmart, and it wasn't nearly as good, but it helped break the habit. I used to get the carbonated water from Walmart. So I used to do that, and it was sugar-free and didn't taste nearly as good. And I did that for a while, and then finally I was able to go to water. So. No, it's my sanity. It helps me not be miserable. I make sure to keep it to 1 tablespoon. But yes, I know it's high calorie dense. Yeah, it is like I used to do DoorDash quite a bit, and it would be depressing going to McDonald's. It'd be some 300-pound dude with a mask on by himself, and it's like, come on. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop. The sugar-free Dr. Pepper. He would do the diet Dr. Pepper. I don't know if that's the same thing, but he was hooked on it. Yeah, and that's why I own a Smith machine, is because he bought it thinking he would use it, then he didn't use it, and it's hard. But I use it every day. I use the Smith machine. I do a workout every day, and sometimes I do a 12-hour day or a 15-hour day, and I'm like, I don't want to do it, but I do it. Thanks to my Aunt Connie's chocolate. Thanks to my Aunt Connie's chocolate, I'm now over 170 for the first time in a while. But yes, peanut butter in moderation, the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio isn't good at all. I didn't know that. I drink nothing but water and a Gatorade every now and then. As you can tell, I have a bad energy drink addiction, but almond milk, energy drinks, water, and coffee, that's it. I stopped pop cold turkey back when I was a teenager. My sister was going to some youth group and gave up pop for Lent. I left her and said, what are you giving up? I can do that. Never had a desire to drink. That's awesome. Yeah. And by the way, if you're not familiar, Lent's a Catholic thing. You give up something you love right after Lent till Easter. And I used to do something because I was raised strict Catholic. I don't do it anymore, but I quit drinking soda. I had to substitute that sugar-free carbonated water. And then finally I winged myself off of that. And sometimes you have to have it like a go-between. That's what I did. Walking every day helps, and doing the cross country. Oh yeah, if you're in Canada, I'd love. So I hate being active outside when it's cold. And I try to do more weightlifting during the winter and more running during the summer. This summer, I did not do a lot of running, but I worked outside quite a bit. I haven't done the weightlifting substitute yet, but for those of you that don't know, I work about 50 to 60 hours a week. I work on YouTube 20, 30 hours a week. And one of the things I'm giving up is I'm just giving up, working out and some other things. So. I really should. I'm trying really hard to get rid of the energy drinks. I drank a 2-liter of Mountain Dew for 20 years, and I got what's called SVT. I couldn't drink caffeine anymore. Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah. I had an old girlfriend who was hooked on Mountain Dew, and I never, I didn't know. I thought it was a Catholic thing. Okay. She just drank so much Mountain Dew. It was really weird. But like, she went to the doctor because she didn't shit for like 5 days. Doctor asked her how much Mountain Dew she was drinking. The guy said, like, quit drinking Mountain Dew. And she never did. She's like, I'll be constipated, I don't care. And but yeah, I used to tease her so much about it. She was so hooked on it. She's so hooked on Mountain Dew. But soda my favorite was Coke. The red Coke. I love that stuff. I could drink a 12 pack in a day easy. I like the other kinds, but Coke was my favorite. I love that stuff. So I might drink a sip or two at my wife's at the movies, but I'm generally a huge water drinker. Maybe a cup of coffee, some green tea every day, and a shake. I love coffee. I drink a lot of coffee too. And well, tomorrow's a coffee day. Today, 3 energy drinks. But, you know. I used the Gatorade to help me from the. I might try that, but I know Gatorade. You have to get the. I would have to get the sugar free, but the green original. I love that stuff. I really did think it was a Catholic only thing. Martial arts is, yeah, and I wanted to get back into Krav Maga. I'm trying to get like into a. I do right before I go to bed. I do 25 crunches. I need to increase, but everybody's a little different. I like to do something small every day, something I know I can do. So I don't want to increase it because I know if I go one day without, then it's easier to go 2. And it's easier to find excuses. So I didn't know that, Keys. I had no idea you were competitive because every time we argue, you always let me win the argument. I should have like sarcasm blasting across there, but yeah. Nobody knew that, Keys. My sister got her CDL and she said I could do it. I got my CDL. That's awesome. Surge was okay. So apparently the original Surge had like 3 times the amount of sugar, and then they had to go back. But yes, I've had that stuff. Like it's like liquid green sugar. Yes, Surge did have meth in it. That was Keys. I started drinking Mountain Dew when it was in a glass bottle. So by yourself. The surge stuff was terrible. Oh my God. It was, I swear to God, you could almost like chew the sugar in it. It was so bad. I drank one in my 2nd-hour study hall and I'd be wired till 11 or so at night. Maybe I drink 2 or 3 a day and repress that memory. I remember Jolt Cola. I didn't like it. I do remember it. I didn't like it. I loved Coca-Cola. I thought about going to Thailand and train with my legit Muay Thai fighters. If you go, take tons of pictures. Take tons of pictures. I would love to see Thailand. That's why. By the way, Coca-Cola in the glass bottle is amazing. Coca-Cola in the glass bottle is absolutely, positively amazing. Dan, the Surge counts an energy drink. Okay, technically, no, but it works like an energy drink. It really does. If you had to stay awake, what worked better, Surge or certain energy drinks? Surge. Surge doesn't. Surge works better, but I always counted it as a soda. That is, by the way, Keys. That you could flip a coin there. I never counted it as I thought it was a soda, but it had so much sugar. It seriously, it was too sugary for me, but I've had a few. Yeah, Jolt was flat. Jolt did not taste good. Same thing with Coke. They had Coke. Yeah, so Coke used to put cocaine in it, and it's such a bad substance. I actually knew a guy he cleaned up crime scenes, and he said he'd have these giant gallons of Coca-Cola, and it still didn't stop me from drinking it. I don't know I have no idea what stopped me from drinking Coca-Cola. Anyone remember Josta had a Panther on it, tasted like Fago Rock and Rye? I remember Josta, but I couldn't tell you what it tastes like for the life of me. I had to stop drinking pop because it gave me horrible headaches and stomach aches. My mom drinks Pepsi like it's water. So I do Walmart Spark, and there's a little old lady, and she ordered this crazy amount of Pepsi. Like it was like a whole cart full of Pepsi. And she was so much fun. So anyway, I fucked with her and I go, hey, I forgot her name, but I was like, hey, listen, I got everything except your Pepsi. I substituted grapefruit juice, and she was so pissed. I was like, I gotcha. And luckily she started laughing. But it was funny because I brought her into Pepsi and I knew where her room was and everything. And it's one of these retirement communities, so I knew where to go. And the nurse there stopped me and I said, I got to take a picture. And I joke around, like, let me get a picture of you. She like almost put her hand, like, like the inside edition. I thought she was going to punch me. And she's like, I got to take it there. I'm like, because I knew the lady. I messed around with her and she was a lot of fun. But when the first time I brought her all that Pepsi, the nurse said she'll go through this in a week. And a week later, I brought her an insane amount of Pepsi. That's why I fucked with her. I was like, oh, I had to substitute grapefruit juice. She got it. It was funny. Man, when I lived in Springfield, I used to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Loved it. It was nearly a blue belt before my internship ended. And I didn't know this, Keys. That's pretty awesome. Originally, Coke was sold as a cure-all medicine. Really? I did not know that. I really didn't know that. It's one of those things that sounds like fiction, but I wouldn't doubt it. You can use it like clear, was it corroded car batteries and stuff. You wanted to give her some. So what it was is that Lexi on her YouTube channel, they have a sponsor for some hard seltzer, and it's a local Kansas City. So she picked 2 people, and I'm one of them. And so I get a free 6-pack, and she's like, well, I have to meet you in person. And I was like, well, look, we'll meet here, but here's my phone number. And I was so bothered because I was supposed to meet her at 3, and I was not off work till 4:30, and I thought she was going to be pissed. But at 4:30, she called me, and then she's like, oh, I meant to text you. I was just putting your number in my phone, but I wasn't able to meet you today. I am so sorry. And I'm like, that's funny because I was like I wasn't able to meet you and I felt terrible. But yeah. But that is yes, Lexi from Twitter. She was on my show. She just wanted, she chose me at random because she wanted my number. That's science. Because yeah, she texted me today. I was supposed to meet her and I was not able to, and I felt awful. And so I planned the first part of my show to be an apology. And then the second part of the show was because thoughts and prayers out to Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports. Hopefully the cars that are rammed into his rectum are they're going to come out okay. And then I wanted to do it. I didn't have enough time. I want to do like a Brandon Staley. I was going to do a Brandon Staley memoriam. And I have like some sad music. I just didn't have time to put that together. But yeah, Lexi from Twitter. Yeah. I was chosen just so she can get, she's pretty sneaky. Pride, yes, back in old-timey days, I used to stand on the side of the road at a cart and do the whole mustache. It got a headache, lack an energy picture. I really, I thought she is. Yeah, she is. I think she's 30-something, to be honest. I have no idea. It was just, I was kind of, we did exchange phone numbers. I'm pretty sure she wasn't using that as an excuse to get my number, but it might have been. I mean, it probably was. I mean, take a look at this. And all right. So guys, I'm out of an energy drink. I'm super, super, super amped up. I will stay on here, but oh God, this is definitely I'm starring this one here. Oh God, this is good. The Iowa Hawkeye offense could put up 35 on Staley. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's what really happened. I was having some fun. She did DM me. And then she said, we'll meet here at this time. And I said, yeah, that works perfect. And then I messaged again. I said, listen, just in case, here's my number. And then she called me back. So yeah. But yeah, I was having some fun with it. Yeah, I was having some fun. I'm having some fun. So look, it's been 2.5 hours. So I'm going to wrap up. And any final thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions? Watch my video. It's fantastic. I'm if you have any problems or you want anything, I'm going to be unavailable after tonight on my phone. I probably won't answer any DMs, texts, anything like that. I will have the live stream set up later tonight or tomorrow for Chiefs Patriots, which is at noon on Sunday. Join me. I'll be doing play-by-play. So, yeah. I'll be doing play-by-play. So join me Sunday at noon. I don't have it set up yet, but I'll have it set up soon. I will be pretty – if you have any prop bets, sports betting, hit me up tonight. Thanks to the energy drink, I'm going to be up for the next couple hours. Tomorrow, I'll probably be incognito for a long time. So I'm a police officer today. Used to play offense for Iowa. That's pretty awesome. If Staley and Brian Ferentz were the head coach, offensive coordinator of an NFL team, that college team could legit. You know, by the way, Keys, Chad uses Facebook a lot. You guys could also tag team on there. Larson. All right. Dan, if the Chiefs offense puts 45 up on the Patriots, do the Patriots fire Belichick on Monday? The answer is no. If Belichick's going to be fired, it will 100% not be during the season. The Belichick situation, I'm really going to kind of follow because I'm going to do the Black Monday show at the same time. I'm going to do it at 7. But that's the number one story I'm going to follow. There's like a weird trade clause in his contract where he could be traded to a team. So, hey, bro, the Instagram link is below. Oh, thanks for letting me know. I will fix that. Yeah. What I've been doing is I've been copying and pasting the one from the notepad, and sometimes that gets a little weird. So I'll fix that. There was a play on Staley. That was a play on Staley. I should, yeah. There is, and I really think the only place that I really think Washington could be the team. And I'll be honest with you, if Washington trades for Belichick, it wouldn't surprise me if Sam Howell's involved, and it means that Howell would go to the Patriots, and then the Patriots would have to, go with their own guy. I could also see him going to the Patriots, or I'm sorry, Belichick going to Washington and saying, I need Sam Howell. But I think Sam Howell could be an integral part of that. I could see New England saying, look, we'll trade Belichick. We want a draft pick and we want Howell, and you have to take Mac Jones. You'd be forced to take Mac Jones. So Keys know they won't fire him. He will walk away to his own fate. Yeah. By the way, that's kind of the whole point about this. And I apologize for an Instagram link being down, but apologize for an Instagram link being down, but I'll get that fixed for next show. So guys, that'll be it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Join me Sunday noon for Chiefs Patriots, and I'll see everybody back. Hopefully I'll see you all back Sunday. It's going to be a good game.